He cheated while I was caring for his sick mother, so I burned his life down, one piece at a time, legally. I, 27F, was with Matt, 28M, for just over 3 years. When we first got together, he was charming, funny, a little awkward in an endearing way. We moved in together after about 1.5 years of dating, split most of our bills, got a dog together, a rescue mutt named Charlie who I instantly fell in love with, and basically built a life together. We weren't perfect, but we were solid. Or at least, I thought we were. About 10 months ago, Matt's mom was diagnosed with a degenerative illness. It wasn't terminal, but she was going through a particularly rough patch and needed help at home. Matt was her only child, and she didn't have any close family nearby. So he asked if I could help. Now, I have a full-time job. I work remotely, but it's still demanding. Still, I liked his mom. She was sweet, kind to me, and honestly treated me more like a daughter than my own mom ever did. So when Matt asked me to take a week off to help take care of her, cook meals, help her with basic tasks, take her to appointments, I didn't hesitate. I figured it was the right thing to do. I even used my paid time off to make sure I could be fully present. He told me he would help too, of course. That he'd be there every evening after work, and that he'd make it up to me. But something felt off. He started coming home later and later. Some nights he'd show up around midnight, claiming he got held up at work. One night, he didn't come home at all. When I asked about it, he said he fell asleep at his desk after a 16-hour shift. I didn't want to seem insecure, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I told myself he was just stressed out. But things kept piling up. He started locking his phone. He never used to do that. He'd get random notifications and flip the screen over, so I couldn't see them. One time, he came home smelling like perfume, not mine, and definitely not his mom's. That's when I started to suspect something. The final straw came late one night, maybe around 1 a.m. I couldn't sleep, so I was scrolling through TikTok, half zoned out. I clicked on a video in the comments section of a trending post and saw a familiar username. It was the same handle Matt used for his Xbox account, one he thought I didn't know about because he had a separate gaming life. Curious, I clicked. The account belonged to a woman, maybe mid-20s, very pretty, with this whole aesthetic lifestyle vibe going on. Travel, outfits, expensive dinners, the works. One of the more recent videos had the caption, "When he surprises you for your 2-month anniversary." There was a little clip of her spinning in what I recognized instantly as our living room. I froze the video, and in the background, sitting on the couch, clear as day, was Charlie, our dog. My dog. I felt like I had been punched in the chest. I didn't confront him right away. I wanted to be absolutely sure, and more importantly, I wanted receipts. So for the next week, I played it cool. I pretended everything was fine. Meanwhile, I went into detective mode. He had forgotten to unlink his iPad from his iMessages. I found conversations between him and this girl. Flirty, gross, and worse, he was talking about me like I was a burden. Telling her I was clingy and emotionally exhausting. Meanwhile, I was over here running his mom to doctor's appointments and scrubbing her bathroom. He even had the nerve to send her money, my money, technically, since we shared expenses and I was covering more than my share lately. Venmo payments for dinner and gifts, I screenshotted everything. Now here's the important detail, the lease for our apartment? It was in my name. Every utility bill? My name. Internet? Mine. Even Charlie's adoption records were under my name because I was the one who filled out the forms and paid the fee. So I made a plan. The day he left for one of his supposed overnight shifts, I packed up everything I cared about. I took my clothes, my work equipment, all my personal items, and most importantly, Charlie. I brought him to my sister's house so he'd be safe and happy. Then I called our landlord, gave my 30 days notice, and paid the final month of rent. I also asked to cancel the utilities in 30 days. Then I changed all the passwords to Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, everything I had been paying for. I locked him out of everything. And then, just to twist the knife, I left a little note taped to the fridge. It read, "Hey Matt. You might want to check TikTok more carefully next time. P.S. Charlie's with me. The place is yours for the next 30 days. After that, you're on your own. Oh, and I told your mom what you said about her needing too much help. She cried, by the way." I didn't hear from him for 3 days. Then I got a string of angry texts, accusing me of being crazy, vindictive, and that I overreacted. I didn't respond. The girl? She dumped him about a week later when she found out he was effectively homeless. He had no place to stay, no money. Turns out she didn't know he was sharing finances with me, and his mom refused to take him in after I told her everything. Last I heard, he was couch hopping with some college friends and trying to convince his boss to give him more hours. So no, I didn't scream. I didn't throw his clothes out the window or key his car. I just dismantled his life. Quietly. Legally. And with a smile on my face. Because when you betray someone who took care of your sick mother, your dog, and your bills, you don't deserve rage. You deserve consequences. He cheated on me in our bed, so I made sure everyone at his job knew exactly who he was. Let me tell you about how my ex, let's call him Jake, made the dumbest mistake of his life, and how I turned it into my own personal masterpiece of revenge. We were together for 4 years. Lived together for 2. I thought we were solid. We had plans. We were talking about getting a dog, possibly buying a condo, the whole future building thing. He was charming, funny, great in social settings, and apparently, also great at lying through his teeth. The first red flag? His phone started living face down. He suddenly had a passcode when he used to brag about how he had nothing to hide. His work hours magically stretched later and later, and he became weirdly obsessed with always doing his own laundry, which was hilarious, because this man once shrunk my favorite sweater trying to help. Anyway, my gut told me something was off. So I did some digging. Nothing crazy, just connected the dots. One night he said he was out with coworkers for a team bonding dinner, so I called one of his work friends I'd met at a holiday party. Super nice guy. I just casually asked, "Oh hey, is Jake at that team dinner you guys are having tonight?" Pause. Dinner? Nah, there's nothing going on tonight. Everyone went home after work. Got it. So I did what any scorned woman with half a brain and a full charge on her phone would do. I tracked him. iPhones. Gotta love him. He was at our apartment. With her. I didn't barge in. I didn't scream. I watched. From the building across the street. I saw the lights go off. I saw her leave 2 hours later, wearing one of my hoodies. Classy. Now, here's where the revenge part comes in. Jake was one of those guys who tied his identity to his job. He worked in PR for a luxury hotel chain. Always bragging about how important reputation was. How image is everything. He'd literally scoff if someone posted something unprofessional online. So I got very professional with my revenge. I waited a week. During that time, I collected receipts, texts I pulled from our shared iCloud, screenshots of his little "I miss you already" messages to her, even a photo I managed to get of her in my hoodie leaving our place. Then I created a fake Gmail posing as a concerned friend and sent an email to his boss, HR, and even the head of marketing, titled, "Your PR manager might want to reconsider his personal brand." I attached everything. I included a note about how unprofessional it is for someone in public relations to be so publicly messy. I mentioned that the woman he was sleeping with? Yeah, she was a client. One of the hotel brand partners. And just like that, the house of cards collapsed. He got suspended. Then fired. The woman? Turns out she was married too. Her husband found out shortly after. Rumor has it he served her divorce papers via courier at her office. Savage. Jake tried to reach out, of course. First it was you ruined my life, then we can fix this, then I was going to propose, you psycho. I never answered. I moved out, blocked him, and took my hoodie back, left it in a box on the porch with a note that just said, "Image is everything. Hope yours was worth it." Haven't seen him since. But I heard through a mutual friend that he's working customer service now. Every time I stay at a hotel, I leave a little note in the guest feedback card. Remind your PR team, don't screw over the wrong woman.